So Danae's question was about coconut oil. She says, I'm trying to convince David, her husband, that we should start cooking with coconut oil. He's not a big fan of the taste. On the other hand, I think we will get used to it. Thoughts on whether coconut is really that much healthier than olive or canola oil? So, Danae, you're asking me to stand in between a marital argument, which is not fair. I'm just kidding. I'm going to give you my answer, but I like both you and your husband, so I hope that this doesn't cause an argument or exacerbate the argument, I guess. So here's the deal. When we talk about oils and why coconut oil is healthier than olive oil to cook with, this is all about the smoke point. Smoke point is literally when the oil starts smoking, the temperature at which the oil starts smoking. So if you just have oil in a room temperature pan, no smoke's coming off that. You start heating it up, heating it up, heating it up, and eventually smoke is going to start coming off of that. And the exact temperature at which that happens, that's called the smoke point. So we care about this not just because we're going to burn our food if the oil has a lower smoke point and we're cooking at a higher heat, but really when the oil is past its smoke point, it starts oxidizing, which means it releases free radicals, and free radicals are not good for our body. They contribute to inflammation, disease, things like that. So we're losing the good benefits of our oil when it's past its smoke point, and we're getting some bad stuff. We're getting free radicals that we really don't want in our bodies when the oil goes past its smoke point. Let's see. So, yeah, another thing about this, an oil that has a higher smoke point generally has fewer minerals and enzymes and things like that. So the really flavorful oils like extra virgin olive oil that has a lower smoke point, that's because it has a lot of minerals, and that's what gives it that really rich taste, versus a higher smoke point oil will generally have a more neutral taste. The very last thing about this is that oils can become hydrogenated. So a lot of people have heard the word hydrogenated oils and know that that's something to stay away from. Well, even if your oil isn't hydrogenated and you heat it above the smoke point, it can become hydrogenated. So we don't want that. Now, here's the surprising thing. Coconut oil and olive oil, just the pure, unrefined coconut oil and olive oil, they actually have a very similar smoke point. So in that way, it's really not better to cook with coconut oil than it is olive oil. This is kind of like a media frenzy going on right now. I have them written down because I haven't memorized all these. The coconut oil unrefined is $3.25, and extra virgin olive oil unrefined, or coconut oil was $3.50, extra virgin olive oil was $3.25. So really there's no difference there, which means that you shouldn't be cooking high heat with unrefined coconut oil, believe it or not. Sometimes the media spins things like this and says, oh, you shouldn't cook with extra virgin olive oil, and they forget to give you the whole story. So that's why you're here. I'm going to give you the whole story. Refined coconut oil gets a little bit better. So that high heat, or that smoke point, goes up to 400 degrees, which means that for most things, if you're cooking on a skillet, you're usually not going to get it above 400 degrees. If you're broiling or roasting in the oven, you will get it higher. And so even refined coconut oil at that high heat is not the best choice, believe it or not. Refined olive oil is even higher actually than refined coconut oil. And by the time I get through the end of this, I'm going to lay out the full order for you guys. So just bear with me as I'm going through all these examples. What I just said, though, was refined olive oil is even better than refined coconut oil. So again, media is kind of confusing us here. I'm going to give you a few more options that are really healthy at high heat. Ghee G-H-E-E, is kind of popular in like the paleo communities and things like that. This is clarified butter, and that means when they clarify it, they're kind of like reducing it basically, and that's heating out a bunch of the minerals and enzymes and milk solids, and that's what gives it a higher smoke point. So ghee has a smoke point of 450 degrees. Avocado oil has a smoke point of between 400 and 520 degrees. So that's my number one choice. If you're going to roast or something like that, I would suggest avocado oil. It has a pretty neutral flavor. I actually love it on my salads too. You can use these high heat oils without heat as well. But when you're roasting, you really won't notice the flavor at all. So, Danae, for you and David, that might be the winner, is switch to avocado oil. Other ones that would be options, grapeseed oil kind of gets a lot of popularity. There are some health benefits, some health, not detriments, but just not as beneficial as some of the other ones. That one has 390 to 420 smoke point. Butter has 350, just so you know. So here's the bottom line. If I'm doing high heat cooking, I would like avocado oil as the first choice. Second choice would be a refined olive oil or coconut oil. So not your extra virgin olive oil, a refined olive oil or coconut oil. If I'm just drizzling on salads, that's where something like extra virgin olive oil gets really, really great health ratings because it still has all those minerals and enzymes and things like that. So if you could only keep 2 oils in your cabinet or your pantry, I would say avocado oil for high heat, extra virgin olive oil for drizzling on salads and things like that.